In this episode, we share with you Lindsay's photo reading. You will get something out of this episode if you listen just because you're curious what a Plumb Point intuitive photo reading sounds like. But we encourage you to listen deeper. Listen for yourself. Listen to this as if it is a message for you, because it is. This is a universal message for all of us. Welcome to the Plumb Podcast. I'm Rosalee.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are the Plumb Collective. Sarah and I have listened to this reading for ourselves and been like, oh my God, we needed to hear this. I'm the person who delivered the message, and I feel that way about it. I needed to hear this message. This message is for all of us, and you will get something for yourself if you listen to it like that. This is for you. It really is.
The starting point for this message is Lindsay's photo and her question, which she submitted for her Plumb Point intuitive photo reading. If you're listening to this episode as audio only, know that on YouTube, we are going to be showing Lindsay's photo that she submitted for the photo reading. We encourage you to head over to YouTube to also watch this episode so that you can see the photo for yourself. When you book a Plumb Point intuitive photo reading, you send in a photo of yourself, a selfie. We call it a current energy photo because it is how you feel in your current energy right now. And Rosalee looks at your current energy photo and reads your question and connects to your energy. And then they deliver the messages that come forward from your energy that you need to hear. Lindsay's question was, why do I find it so hard to connect with people?
The details that I felt and the messages that I shared for Lindsay are very specific. I felt the sounds inside of a restaurant. I heard sighing and noises that felt very specific to what Lindsay experiences inside of her inner thoughts. I also felt physical sensations, how she holds her mouth, I described in very specific detail. There are some details inside of this reading that are so specific to Lindsay, and there is a universal message that connects throughout the entire reading that is for all of us about how we can connect more deeply to ourselves. In that connection, we can find out how we really feel and what we really want. Sometimes our feeling of disconnection with others is leading us to a deeper connection with ourselves.
When I listened to this reading in preparation for this episode, I knew the specific details were for Lindsay, but I also knew that the messages could be for me. I made the choice to listen for myself, to lay the reading over my life and let the details of my life come into focus. This reading was exactly what I needed to hear in this moment in time, and I hope that you can listen to it for yourself too. This is a powerful message.
Hi, Lindsay. It's Rosalee. Thank you so much for following your instinct and booking this reading, allowing me the opportunity to connect with you and your energy to deliver these messages for you. You will find in the Plumb Point document, there is a photo of my notebook page. That is what I am looking at, along with your current energy photo as I'm recording this audio. This is my way of communicating what I felt for you while I'm in your energy. First of all, I just want to say that you feel very sweet and kind and sensitive and soft. And like things have been very hard. I first of all just want to send love right to your heart right away. The first thing that I wrote down is what is left unsaid. The immediate feeling I had looking at your current energy photo, a lot of sounds like popping and clicking and the sound of a tea kettle and steam releasing and sighing and like just sort of different noises. I almost want to say the word grunting. And to me, that really feels like there are things that you want to say or that you know about yourself or that you know that you could say, but you just haven't said or feel like you can't say. I feel a physical sense of tightness in your jaw, so I would not be surprised if that also results in a physical sensation, maybe jaw popping or clicking. TMJ, or when your jaw is open, then having a hard time closing it. Jaw-related feelings were very strong. And then I also felt that your tongue was pulled back into your mouth. And I don't really know medical or anything about the tongue, but it feels like anatomy-wise that you hold your tongue back or pull your tongue back and then clench down on your jaw. When I looked into that to get more information and to provide insight to you, the biggest feeling I had was fear, like just a deer in the headlights fear, startled, and then a white wall, which is my symbol for it's not for me to know, or it's not for me to go there or look there. I did ask your energy to show me something in your childhood, or show me something in the future, or give me some more information about the fear. And it just was like a clear no, which is fine. And that happens occasionally. And I think what I make that mean is that you know what the fear is, and that you don't need to trust me. I don't need to actually know the details and the specifics. That I will share and deliver specific information to you that will connect and make sense without going into the nitty-gritty of things that are really hard and painful. When I'm looking at your question and asking your question to your energy, the feeling that I received back, or the questions that I received back, was, how do you connect with yourself? And I think sometimes that can annoy people, where it's like, well, how can you love someone else if you don't love yourself? Or how can you if you don't? But how we connect with ourselves provides the foundation, and what we tolerate and what we accept and what we expect from our connections to other people. So really connecting to and being available for the answers of, like, the thing that I felt to help guide you forward, or suggestions, actions you could take, was a lot of making lists. I also think Plumb practice would be very beneficial and supportive in that gentle, incremental way. But as far as focusing on this reading and the things that I'm bringing forward to you without that additional support, it would be making lists and being really truthful with your answers, and knowing that whatever you write down, whatever inventory you take, that it doesn't have to mean something bad about you or your character or really anything. It can just be something that you feel in the moment, or something that you've felt before, and it can evolve and change and not be the be-all end-all for your character, but just where you're at in a moment in time. So really questioning and being interested and curious and honest with yourself about, like, how do you connect with yourself? How do I connect with me? Are you self-critical? Are you hard on yourself? I mean, I feel like the answer is yes. And the major thing that I feel is that there's like a tea kettle right before the steam comes out. The high-pitched whistling sound, to me, is my symbol for anger and resentment, being done wrong. Things have been hard and have not been made right. I think some of the things that you might be self-critical about are not necessary for you to be critical about yourself, that they're actual things to acknowledge and to put the criticism on the proper parties. It feels like you're being really hard on yourself and not maybe seeing all of the situations that clearly. So by considering these questions and being really open and exploratory and soft and gentle and accepting of yourself, it will reveal things to you that will make a difference in your connection with yourself and your connection with other people. How do you currently let out steam? What do you do with anger now? Do you have any practices? Do you allow yourself to write or scream or howl or dance or punch or kick or make art or break something? What do you do to let out that steam? What do you do to release those hard to feel feelings? My feeling is that there isn't a channel that is effective and efficient for releasing that steam and releasing the anger and the resentment. So it ends up boiling up inside of you. When I ask your question, your energy responded with a very specific answer, which is people can feel the steam and hear the tea kettle noises, which is maybe the bold thing to say. And maybe other humans wouldn't be able to exactly put that into words or would be willing to say that. But it's like they can feel that underlying discontentment. Like I said, when I first looked at your photo, it was noisy. There was a lot of sound. Like if you're in a restaurant and they're doing the silverware and there's plates moving and conversations and it's like an overstimulated sensory experience, and there's something similar to that I feel in your energies. To me, feels like you might be overstimulated and not having a way to channel this energy that will naturally integrate and move connection forward when it is available to you. And I think the things that I am sharing with you will definitely help guide you on that path. I feel that you get close to feelings, and then when the feelings feel too hard to feel, which is understandable, there's that pulled back sensation similar to what I feel in your tongue. And so finding ways to make incremental movement towards feeling and connecting deeply with yourself will naturally blossom connections with other people. If we focus on ourselves and how we feel about ourselves, our energy shifts and then everybody around us shifts. When we become available to new possibilities, people we've known for years will go, oh, and see us in a different light or hear us in a different way. Some relationships fall away as someone shifts, but it makes a clearer path for the people that are meant to be connected to you, to be true to yourself and clear in your own energy and not holding hurt and resentment. And it's understandable to have hurt and to feel resentment. But when it's something that is gripped onto or we don't have a way to release it and it just sits and kind of festers inside, it leaks out in these other ways. You might find yourself sighing, taking really deep breaths, or just going like, ugh, like these grunting kind of noises. That is a way to release the steam, but I think it's not releasing enough. And so then you're always kind of at that threshold of overstimulation and just a little too much, a little too hard to feel. And by finding ways to channel this energy, it will naturally integrate and move connection forward with every relationship, even with strangers or someone at the gas station or whatever. When we shift our energy, it opens us up for connection that we can't even imagine where we are right now. I also feel sadness in your energy. And I just want to affirm for you, even though I can't see the specifics, and like I said, I don't feel like it's necessary for me to see or feel the specifics, because I believe you, I believe the sadness, and I believe that you have every right to feel how you feel, and it doesn't need to make sense. You don't need to defend or explain why you feel the way you feel. It's important to allow yourself to feel. That's it. It doesn't ever need to make sense. It doesn't ever need to be explained. It doesn't ever need to be defended. It doesn't ever need to be understood by anybody else. Your feelings are your feelings. Feelings and emotions are in motion. When we can allow them to be in motion and not consider them permanent fixtures that mean something about our character and being a good person, it frees us up to feel differently and to experience our life and to be happy and joyful and find the things that we enjoy connecting with because we like it. And it's like, it sounds so simple, but it's like, if you're doing something because you think you should do it, but you don't really want to be doing it. Let's say taking a pottery class. Maybe you do actually want to take a pottery class. I don't know. This is just an example. But if you feel like, oh, taking a pottery class would be a good way to meet people and connect with people, I should do that, even though I don't really like the feeling of wet clay and I don't like getting dirty and it would be overstimulating for me. But I heard somebody met their best friend doing a pottery class, and so I think, well, maybe I'll meet somebody if I do it. And so you take this pottery class. Well, then you might meet somebody there that really enjoys the pottery class, but then the connection is based on a faulty connection. But let's say you really enjoy, I don't know, crochet. I don't know. And you go to some yarn function or something, and it's just because you want to go and it feels interesting to you and you like it. You're going to be interested and excited and joyful and electric and magnetic because you're doing something you enjoy doing. Any connections you make doing something that you're excited about is going to create a strong foundation for that connection. The clearer we can get with ourselves about how we feel and what we want, the easier it is to connect with other people, because we're clear about how I feel, what I want, what I accept, what I will not tolerate, what I'm interested in, what I'm hurt about, and what I want. Like, what do you really want? I'm going to say something bold. Do you really actually want connection with others? Or is what you really want is, how do you connect with yourself? How do you love yourself? How do you find that best friend feeling with yourself? That's what it feels like your question really is. The answer to that is to allow yourself to feel and to listen to yourself. Plumb practice is a gentle and incremental way. I specifically designed it to be supportive for my clients after having a photo reading, because I saw how necessary continued support was. You can use the questions inside of your photo reading, the messages that I've shared with you. You could use them as prompts. You could let the things come up that come up inside of Plumb practice. It's a structured way to not feel like you're going it alone, but to also not have to trust anybody or share anything with anybody. It's a way for you to connect with yourself as deeply as you want to. You could listen to the mirror or join the Plumb Practice membership and go through the sessions, experience Sarah and I evolving through all of the sessions and hear our writing and hear our conversation and not really participate at all. And then you could go deeper and you could go deeper and you could go deeper. And it's a way to, I'm going to say it again and again, but it's gentle and incremental movement towards feeling and connecting deeply with yourself. And that will naturally blossom into connections with other people, if that's what you want. And you'll be clearer on who you actually want to connect with, because it won't just be anybody. You'll have the knowledge and the value and the respect and the love for yourself that makes it very clear who you want to connect with. When thinking about resentment and anger, I made a note to make a list and take inventory. Maybe the word for you isn't resentful, maybe it isn't anger, maybe it's hurt. I'm not entirely sure what that particular word is for you, but that kind of feeling. What are the things that you are resentful, hurt about, sad about? What are those things? And to know that nobody ever has to see it. You don't ever have to defend it. You don't ever have to explain it. But it's something for you to see so that you can start to really tell the story to yourself of like, oh yeah, there are reasons why I feel this way. Like, it's understandable. When you know the whole story, it's understandable why I would feel this way. And I don't need to defend myself. And it doesn't need to make sense. And I don't have to explain anything. And nobody has to understand anything. I feel how I feel, and that's it. And it might not be the easiest or the first thing that you might be able to do, and that's okay. Or maybe it is. But I think it would be a very powerful, important, actionable step to take, is to make a list with that question and to be really truthful about what your answers are, and that you don't make it mean something bad about you or your character, or that you're a good person or a bad person or this or that or anything permanent. That they're reasons, things, inventory of why you're hurt, why you're sad, what you have to be resentful about. Because you definitely have reason. I understand it. I believe you. And I want you to have that same level of trust with yourself that I have in what I feel for you. And I really feel that you get that connection by telling yourself how you feel, using the truest words you can to describe how you feel, and connecting with what you want. Sometimes I think we have an idea built up in our head for a long time of what we should want. We hold on to that should as a dream instead of the actual reality of our heart's desire. Lindsay, I want you to feel my words wrap around you like a warm hug. Listen to this message as many times as you want. I believe in you. Your feelings are your feelings. How you feel doesn't need to make sense. It doesn't need to be explained. You don't have to defend yourself. And no one has to understand. But I do think Allowing yourself to feel how you feel is the most important thing. Thank you again for this opportunity to be with you and connect with you. It was easy for me to connect with you. It was a joy to connect with you. I'm sending you so much love.
This is a powerful message, and it's one that I'm going to come back to multiple times because I know that I'm going to get more out of listening to this reading the more times I listen to it. In every Plumb Point intuitive photo reading, we include a pre-reading message that gives suggestions and recommendations for how to listen to the reading in the most supportive way possible. And one of the recommendations is that you listen to the reading multiple times, and when you're in different moods and when you're doing different things and with a notebook in your hand, because listening to it multiple times allows you to squeeze the juice out of the message and get every last drop of goodness.
Oh, I love that so much. It's so true. That really is the gift and the curse of my life, of being recorded so much in my childhood. I had to overcome and work through and process being willing to record myself. And I did. And now I know how powerful it is and why it is such an important part of this process, is because I get to say these messages once and then we get to hear them as many times as we need to. And we really need to hear these messages. So please listen to this again. Listen to it with your eyes closed. Listen to it with a notebook next to you. Write down the questions you have. Write down the memories that come up for you. Write down the things that you think that you shouldn't be feeling, the things that you're afraid of, the fears that you feel come up when you hear me talk about Lindsay's fear. You don't have to ever show it to anybody, but it's important for you to know it and to connect with yourself about it. This message is for you. And I'm so glad you heard it.
And if you're someone who would like support with getting the words out, you can check out our free practice called The Mirror, which is our foundational Plumb practice session. And it gives you a taste of what Plumb practice is all about. And then we also have the Plumb practice membership, where you get a new session of Plumb practice every week. And it just creates the container and the space for getting the words out. You don't have to sit down with a blank notebook and not know what to write. We guide you through the process and through witnessing yourself so that you can connect more deeply to yourself and connect with other people if that's what you ultimately want. And if you would like a Plumb Point intuitive reading for yourself, you can book a session now. There'll be links in the description box for the Plumb Practice membership, for intuitive photo readings, and for the Mirror and other Plumb Practice series that we have available for separate purchase. All of that will be in the description box, so you can click those links and explore yourself with us. Tune in next week for a new episode of the Plumb podcast. The conversation will be different, but we will always express ourselves authentically, and we create the space for you to do the same.